Hi everyone, thank you for being here. I know it's an odd hour, I think everyone's still probably busy with lunch, but anyways, I'll go on with my talk. And hopefully after the end of the questionnaire, Q&A session, if you guys have any questions on copyrights or copyright issues, you can just shoot me a question, I'll try my best to answer it. Okay. How do I... It's not working? Okay, just a bit of introduction about myself. My name is Esthe. I am myself an intellectual property lawyer. I own my firm. I run my firm under ISW Legal IP. So I practice in trademarks, I do patents, and I do copyrights as well. And I deal mainly with protection, and also just beyond protection, looking into what you can do after you have your IP protection. How can you then commercialize it and monetize your IP rights? So I believe most of you here are publishers. So mainly, I think you would be concerned to know about trademarks if you have your branding, and also your copyrights. But also today, I am here to talk about and introduce to you an association that I'm with. I'm the secretary of this International IP Commercialization Council. What is IIPCC? IIPCC is actually an international global, non-profit, non-partisan organization providing a platform for innovator and entrepreneur communities and enterprises to, first of all, increase their understanding of IP and gather resources to unleash the value and realizing the commercialization potential of their creative and innovative IP. Sorry. Okay, basically this association exists to promote three things. IP education for innovators, entrepreneurs, policymakers and professionals. So we want to do more pocket talks, do more sessions that would actually address the issues and concerns and educate IP awareness amongst the community in Malaysia. Secondly, we also want to establish good IP practices and standards towards certification for effective commercialization. Thirdly, we are all about networking and collaboration because we do know that it's very important. If you are a businessman, if you're a one-person copyright, it's very difficult for you to get in touch with an investor or a publisher. So we want to provide that platform ready so that you can come be a member of the association, and we will want to open up that platform for you to also mingle. So through our events and networking sessions and collaborations, we hope that that will facilitate more networking collaborations between the industry players. Okay, so a little bit about the International Association themselves. It's actually a council that has all these chapters everywhere in the other parts of the country. The main chapter is in Hong Kong, and our chapter in Malaysia just formed this year. So this is why I'm doing this brief introduction. Hopefully that if you are interested to join, you are very most welcome to join us. So I would explain later on what are the upcoming events that we're going to have that would actually benefit you. Okay, so what is IIPCC Malaysia? We were formed in August 2015, and with the vision of bringing together, as I mentioned, the three important factors or the three important key players to make a commercialization happen, which means to make monetization happen. You have to have the inventors, the innovators, your researchers. Then you have to have your investors, your financiers and your entrepreneurs. And then of course you have to have your service providers, those who actually can provide services for you to do your commercialization agreement, JV agreement, advise you on your copyrights and so on and so forth. So the objective of this association is to bring these three parties together. I've already mentioned this before. Okay, so why do we join IIPCC, the benefits, yeah? We want to be an info hub. I know that Malaysia has a lot of small, what I call IP hubs that are already existing. You have Perbanan Kota Buku that they gather all the copyrights and publishers and they're trying to do their own events. We have the investors like the MVCA, the Venture Capitalist Association, doing their own thing, trying to do. So there are a lot of all these small IP hubs that are around in Malaysia. And what we want to do is we want to create a platform that is centralized. So we want to gather the associations that are representing all these bodies so that we have a centralized hub that will be able to disseminate information and be able to oversee all these activities so that we don't have repeat activities going around. So basically, it's a centralized info hub that we will be able to disseminate all the latest information about all the IP commercialization talks, trainings, seminars, and conferences running throughout the year. So sometimes you like, oh, I heard about this event, but I didn't know this was going on. So we do want to become eventually that hub that would be able to work with all the other associations and all the other events running around in Malaysia, that we will be able to disseminate all this information for our members. So then you actually roughly know, in terms of, okay, I want to, learn something about commercialization, what are the events that I can go to? And of course, international resources, because we are not just a local association, we are part of a bigger network, which I've already explained to you, Hong Kong and so on and so forth. We do have international resources that our members can tap into, free webinar sessions, and also preferential rates towards any seminars that are organized by our other IIPCC chapters as well in the other parts of the world. And of course, we want to be a platform for discussion. We want to gather the relevant stakeholders on a platform so that they can raise the copyright issues you have, the other IP issues that you have, and gather them together so that we can have a fruitful conversation and be able to actually really do something about it, rather than everyone doing their own thing. Oops. Okay, so these are some of our proposed activities for 2016 this year. We are planning to conduct seminars, talks, and trainings, which we are already ongoing. I will share with you some of the events that we have laid out for this year. Also collaborate with existing IP events such as this, Perbanan Kota Buku. We are going to be in ITEX exhibition as well, this week as well, to be talking about IP as well. To also perhaps table a paper on the value for IP commercialization. And if all goes well, we plan to have an IP commercialization conference, gathering all the relevant stakeholders and facilitating a platform for them to effectively collaborate and to facilitate that. So this might be happening this year or next year, depending on the progress. So these are some of our proposed future activities. We are targeting to create an IP meter health check, some of the simple questionnaire that we can actually disseminate to the public so that they can take the questions and then they can evaluate their IP health, identify what are the existing IP that they have in terms of copyrights, your trademarks. Sometimes I think a lot of the business owners still get very confused. What is trademarks? What is copyrights? What is patents? So they will go through a list of questionnaires that will be able to automatically give you a report to tell you, okay, your business, what IP do you have, and what is the strength of your IP, and what do you need to do, the next steps. So we are targeting hopefully this year or next year to be able to create that for our members. Collaborate with existing IPR marketplace. In this sense, I think existing-wise, MyPo has already have a marketplace, but it's specifically for patents. Of course, in the future, if from the suggestions of our members, then it might be possible to also create a marketplace for copyrights. That means you can publish something like what they did, pitch-to-pitch kind of, I think, event. We can propose to do that, to create a platform for people to actually, on a safe hub, to upload or just pitch to potential investors and facilitate that marketplace so that they have a wider reach to publishers who want to actually commercialize their product. Add value to policy making, and also hopefully developing a local database of actually licensing data. Because right now in Malaysia, I don't think we have a local database that actually tells you what are the usual rates for licensing. What are the percentages? We're all taking only data from overseas. And so how does that correlate with our local market? we're not there yet. So these are some of our proposed partnerships that we would want to work with to gather the members. So ITMA is actually they are an association of all the universities' technology transfer officers and managers. IET are the engineering association. Of course, Kotabuku, you guys know what Kotabuku is. So they are part of creators, researchers, inventors, people who create things, people who create ideas. And then we have financiers, investors, and entrepreneurs who actually have the funds may want to monetize. But sometimes it's very difficult for them to also pick where do they go to, right? And then again, professionals and service providers. Partnership benefits. We will be curating special training seminars and programs on IP commercialization, tailored to meet the needs and objectives of the members. So in terms of copyrights, perhaps maybe there are not enough talks that touch on this issue. A lot of the existing talks, they talk about trademarks more, talk about patents, but maybe copyrights we might need to increase. We will want to see what are the issues, the current issues that publishers are facing, writers are facing, their copyrights being ripped off, whether they are being actually remunerated properly in terms of royalties. Those kind of issues, we do want to deal with those things and actually help the writers know their rights and how do they go about it. Also a platform to strengthen the IP commercialization process. Again, access to international resources, and hopefully collaboration to run conferences and seminars. Okay. So we are different from MIPO. MIPO is actually, how many of you all know MIPO? Have you all heard of MIPO? No, okay, one. MIPO is actually the body, the government body that actually approves all your intellectual property. So they have been running a lot of seminars and programs as well. But the difference are we are not MIPO, but we would like to work with MIPO. We're not profit. They're a government agency. We are an international NGO and accredited as a permanent observer to WIPO. WIPO is the World Intellectual Property Organization. And MIPO is, of course, the Malaysian Office Registry. Our role is to drive commercialization decision-making for IP. As I said, bringing all the key stakeholders in the Malaysian IP ecosystem. Whereas MIPO's role is more to drive policy and regulatory decision-making for efficient registration of IP and IP awareness. Lastly, in terms of networking, we do have access to international resources and membership connection with all other IIPCC chapters worldwide. Whereas MIPO is only, they have only access to government IP officers and of course WIPO with their relationship. So what do we propose? As I mentioned, because there are a lot of existing IP hub, and MIPO as well is wanting to create, they have already embarked on this project to create an IP hub. We do want to work with MIPO as a non-profit organization so that we represent the stakeholders and we are neutral. So we're not for the government, we're not for the private entity, but we are a neutral association to be the connecting and coordinating body, because sometimes government, they may lack the business side of things. And there are certain restrictions to government body regulatory system, but they do have the capacity to support the activities that associations can do in terms of funding and also, I would say, workforce. So we would like to be the dedicated council to support MIPO and enhance industry player relationships with the government to establish a healthy IP ecosystem. So that is what we're trying to do for Malaysia. And we hope to achieve that. But in order to achieve that, we do need members to join, and that's why I'm here to introduce this association. And it doesn't take one person or two person to change the industry and to make something happen. And not just make something happen, but to make something that really benefit and really look into the issues. What are the issues that Malaysia is facing right now? I think we are in an era whereby awareness is still very much needed to be raised in our industry. How much do people really know about copyrights? How much do people really know about trademarks? And how to go about it? So we will start with there, and of course we want to go beyond just protection into looking into monetizing. Okay, this is some of our upcoming events, if you guys are interested. We are supporting an event talking about growing your startup with intellectual property. It's targeted at startup. It will be held at the Co on the 25th of May. Since you guys are here, there is a special promo code that you can use for the event. If I may just put up the page of the event. Yeah, so it's talking about growing your startup with intellectual property. We will be having 2 sessions. One session will be talking about IP basics and how to actually grow your startup with intellectual property, what you can do with your trademarks, your copyrights, your patents, and how you can use it to have a return of investment. Because sometimes you think that you spend the money and you just get a certificate, but what do you do with it? Or rather, if it's copyrights, you don't even necessarily need to register, but it's good enough that you have at least a statutory declaration so that your ownership rights is actually reduced into material form. It's good evidence in that sense. So when you want to prove your first date of creation, if you have a statutory declaration, it would help, because it's the strongest evidence that you can give to prove ownership and the date of creation. We will also be having a few startup co-founders sharing in a second session, which will be interesting. I think it's something new that we're trying out. We will be having inside scoop from the famous ice cream that they are really growing very fast, using their trademarks and branding through licensing, opening up so many branches already since they first started. Yen Yi, who is the founder of a Shopaholics Den. Shopaholics Den is a startup that they came up with this idea of a clothes buffet, and she will be sharing on the mistakes that she had, and at the end of the day, someone actually stole her brand and opened up something similar to her and registered the trademark. So it'll be interesting to listen to what her view on why IP is so important. Yeah, and how it can actually make or break your startup. And then we have Desmond Ngai from Web TV Asia. Web TV Asia is doing very well. They have presence in all across the country, Taiwan, Thailand, and they actually basically commercialize Asian content. So if you know of NameWe, the very controversial YouTube sensation from Malaysia, so they are somewhat their marketing agent. So they're using the contents and distributing everywhere, and they're monetizing from it. They will be sharing their experience as well on IP. So we do have another slot, which I will open up to actually anybody here who has a story to tell about copyrights. We will be open to that. If you guys are interested, you want to feature your company on this upcoming event, do let me know. After the talk, you can approach me personally. We can talk about it, right? Oops. Okay, going back to... No, the slide. So the event is on PTIX. You can Google it and type just growing your startup intellectual property. Type in the promo code. You can get the discount for the event. Upcoming, we have IP for engineers, and also we will be talking about in August IP and its commercialization aspects for SMEs. If any of you are part of Perbadanan Kota Buku or any other association in terms of copyrights, and would you be interested in having a talk specifically on copyrights, please also do approach me after that. We would be very willing to work with you guys, to even set up a talk, even if in your personal company, or to the people in your company as well. We will be most happy to do that with you, to collaborate in that sense. Yeah. Okay, so just briefly, this is our membership fee structure. A yearly fee of 50 if you're a student, an individual 100. For corporate members are 500. It's not expensive, for the international resources and all the other things that we are going to do this year. So we are just giving a promotional fee for the first 50 members to sign up at this special rate. And after that, we will be definitely increasing the price already. So if any of you are interested to sign up and to know more about IIPCC, you can click on the link for Malaysian membership, register your interest. You don't need to pay up front first. Just register your interest and we'll be contacting you later. Or for all our upcoming events as well, with the other associations that we're working with, we'll be disseminating and sending emails if you are interested on any talks or training sessions. We usually give a preferential rate to our members for the upcoming events this year. So, okay, I've done my introduction on the association. If you guys have any queries, you can email me. I would actually like to open up the floor to any questions you have about intellectual property or intellectual property commercialization that you would like to ask. I would try my best to answer. Is there any questions? How many of you guys here are publishers? Writers? You guys are from government agencies? No. Students? One. Where are you guys from? May I ask? Anyone? Oh, you guys have any questions at all? Tak ada? Yes? No? Okay, with that, I will end my session. Thank you so much for listening.